What if your understanding of humanity, our nature, our destiny is actually way more intricate than you thought? Today, we're doing a deep dive into something called maximum salvation. It's a framework offering a pretty unique, biblically referenced look at, salvation, judgment, our future. Our mission, basically to pull out the key ideas from Hebrew and Greek scriptures, but also from some fascinating extra biblical stuff like Enoch and 4 Ezra. We want to give you a shortcut to getting informed on this really deep and often debated topic.
Absolutely. And, to really get a handle on redemption, this framework says you first need to understand the being redeemed. So it all starts with maybe a different look at what it means to be human.
Okay, let's unpack that because, yeah, most people think body, soul, that's it. But this suggests something more complex, a tripartite model.
That's right, 3 parts. It introduces the Hebrew word yetser. Now, yetser isn't just the physical frame, like pottery. It's also the formed thought, the purpose or intention of the heart. Think Psalm 103 or Genesis 6. God's the potter, shaping both the physical and the intention.
Okay, so body and intention. What else?
Then you've got the psuche. That's the natural life force, the breath of life making up the natural body Paul talks about. Mortal.
Right.
And finally, the pneuma, the spirit. This is seen as the higher divine bit that, this framework argues it actually persists consciously after death. Like Stephen in Acts, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit.
Okay, so that distinction helps with those tricky verses about whether you're conscious or asleep after death.
Exactly. It offers a potential way to reconcile them.
Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting and maybe even provocative. This framework talks about a fundamental divide within humanity itself, ontological, he said.
Yes. It draws on Genesis 3.15, the idea of 2 seeds. And it identifies the sons of darkness with the Nephilim from Genesis 6, offspring of fallen angels and human women.
Okay. Controversial territory.
Definitely. And this leads to a really radical reinterpretation of the command to wipe out the Canaanite tribes. It presents it not as ethnic genocide, but as a divine judgment against a specific non-Adamic lineage, the Rephaim, who supposedly survived the flood.
Wow. So a non-human lineage.
According to this specific view, yes.
Yeah.
And it's crucial, really crucial, to stress this is one interpretation. It's not the standard reading at all, but within this framework, they're phase unique. Isaiah 26 says the Rephaim rise not. Permanent annihilation, no resurrection.
That's a huge concept, that divide. So, okay, putting that group aside, what about us, the Adamic line, the sons of light? What's salvation look like then?
For Adamic humanity, it's presented very much as a present reality, a gift you receive now. Like Paul says in 2 Corinthians, behold, now is the day of salvation. It's active, immediate.
Okay, salvation now. But we always hear about works, actions. How do they fit in if it's a free gift?
Good question. That brings us to 1 Corinthians 3. Paul makes a critical distinction there. Salvation, God's grace, that's the foundation, unshakable, given freely. Our works, that's the building we construct on top of that foundation.
So you can mess up the building, but keep the foundation.
Pretty much. Paul says a believer whose works are burned up, like wood, hay, stubble, they suffer loss of rewards, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. The salvation itself isn't lost.
Saved by fire. Interesting phrase. So what happens after death but before the final state? Is it just waiting and unconscious sleep?
No, not according to this view. It suggests a conscious intermediate state, a structured place. It draws on texts like the Septuagint version of Proverbs, and especially the Book of Enoch, talking about a mansion of the dead with different areas or compartments.
Okay. And that suffering loss, the saved by fire part, what is that then?
It's interpreted here less as physical torment and more as a profound psychological purification, a cleansing. You see hints of this kind of metaphorical language in texts like 4 Ezra, maybe even parts of the Apocalypse of Peter, focusing on inner reckoning, not literal flames.
So an internal refinement, not external punishment.
Yep.
That's quite different. And the end goal, the final destination, the resurrection body.
Right, the transformation into the soma pneumaticon, the spiritual body. Think of it metaphorically, perhaps, like a plasma body. Luminous, changeable, a higher energy state reflecting God's own glory, his doxa.
Like Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration, or after the resurrection.
Exactly. Those are seen as glimpses of this perfected state. And tying it all together, that ultimate defeat of death in 1 Corinthians 15, it means death is rendered idle, made powerless for the redeemed. This specific understanding allows, in this framework, for the widest possible salvation for Adamic humanity, while still maintaining justice through permanent non-existence for those deemed ontologically separate, the non-Adamic line.
Wow. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground there.
Mhm.
From our very nature, those three parts, through this idea of two lineages, the mechanics of grace now, and this vision of a luminous final form. It's certainly a complex map, but it offers a unique vision, doesn't it? Trying to balance justice and immense mercy. So, for you listening, what really jumps out from this reimagining of where we came from and where we might be going, and maybe think about that idea of the yetser, your own form thoughts, your intentions. How might understanding that connection shape how you walk day to day, knowing it's linked to that ultimate luminous destiny, something to chew on?